Oh my god, let's set my Goodreads goal for 2024. Let's start the challenge. Happy 2024! Oh my god, how are we in a new year already? I'm so excited to start reading for the new year. So here we are. I'm going to be taking you along on my first week or so of reading all the books I want to read for the beginning of the year to start my reading year off strong. We have already set my Goodreads reading goal for the year of obviously 50 books. I did that this morning. So yeah, that's so exciting. And we've also officially put in my January TBR into my brand new reading journal. So I'm just having the best day already, like kind of just getting my stuff together, getting ready, and I've just pre-filmed some videos as well. So now all I have left to do, because I've done the cleaning and I've done everything I need to do today, I can just curl up on the sofa and read my first book for 2024. I'm so excited. And of course, my first book is going to be, if you've seen my January TBR, Ask About My Volume 5! So excited. This is like the perfect book to start the new year with because it's a graphic novel series. It's the latest one in the series and I'm just gonna be able to fly through it and I'm so excited. Before I get to reading though, I just actually want to mention all the ways I'm tracking my reading this year. I did a whole separate video for the way I tracked my reading in 2022, but it's not really changed that much, so I'm gonna just briefly mention it here. I am using, once again, G from the Book Roast's core pile system to track my reads for this year. I love the fact that I get to have like pretty bar graphs and pie charts at the end of the year after using the core pile system, so I'll be doing that once again. Yes, I do kind of dictate the star ratings I want to give the books based on my gut feeling rather than actually rating them via core pile, but the reason I use core pile is for those beautiful bar graphs and pie charts and stuff that I just physically can't create because I'm not good in Excel or Google Sheets or anything. So yeah, that's the main reason why I use core pile. Not so much for the rating system, but more so for the pretty graphics at the end of each year. So that's the first way that I'm obviously tracking my reading. The next way I'm going to be tracking my reading is brand new for 2024, and that is my reading journal, which I'm really excited to delve in and just kind of see how it evolved and adapts across the year. I'm just kind of intrigued to see how I use it for the first month, whether it's going to be reviews or it's going to be really simple. I'm not too sure yet, but I'll be taking you guys along on my reading journal journey, as you will. So yeah, I'm really excited to track my reading via this year. And although I have a Notion spread for my reading, I'm not using it to create any stats this year because I'm solely using core pile. Last year I amended core pile to keep it very basic. This year I haven't amended core pile at all, so I'm going to be getting more stats and more bar graphs and pie charts through core pile. So I'm not going to be tracking anything via Notion this year like I would usually. Usually I would track all my reads and the books I brought / acquired via Notion, but this year I'm doing it all through core pile, which is really exciting. So I don't kind of need my Notion page for reading this year, but I do have one, but it's purely for noting down my monthly TBR as well as kind of roughly planning out when I want to read each book in my monthly calendar. But other than that, I'm not going to be really using Notion for my reading tracking this year, but I kind of have 3 ways I'm going to be tracking my reading. Notion, my reading journal, and core pile, but Notion is very much like a back burner and just kind of more there if I'm having a busy month. I need to kind of plan out where I'm going to read what books, and if I have any vlogs coming up that I want to pre-plan for, I can plan it in Notion. Notion's just a bit more adaptable because it's obviously digital, so I can kind of be a bit more flexible and a bit more fluid with my like reading plans if I do it in Notion compared to if I did it in my reading journal or something like that. So those are the ways I'm going to be tracking my reading this year. I'm really excited to get started, and I'm going to get cozy, put my hoodie on, and read my first book of the year. I'm so excited. This is the first graphic novel volume that I've read since the TV show came out, and now I can picture the actual actors, and that makes it cuter because I can hear their like voices.
Maybe there is a star with your name. One thing I know is that there should be. There is no one who has a heart as pure, no, not like yours.
have finished my first read of 2024. Yay! That's exactly what I wanted to happen. I wanted to just sit down, binge this book I did 2 sittings. I did a little bit of a sitting, lunch break, and then I finished off the rest using my book app. It took me about 46 minutes to read, which is really, really exciting, and I've given this book a 4-star. This book definitely isn't my favourite in the series, just because I knew before going into this book that it was going to kind of follow the same plot line as Nick and Charlie, the novella, which follows Nick as he starts to figure out which university he wants to go to, whereas Charlie is still finishing off his 6th form and going into 6th form and doing his school exams. So they're in different points of their life now, and they're trying to figure out the new dynamic in their relationship, whether they're going to go long distance, etc. And the same feelings that I had towards Nick and Charlie in the novella, where I found Charlie really petty, really clingy, and just a bit kind of like too suffocating towards Nick, I felt the same in this one as well. I love the fact that there was conversations on safe sex and society's pressure on when's the right time to have sex for the first time, and all these sorts of good discussions, and that's what I love most about this graphic novel series. Every single volume follows a different topics that aren't kind of spoken about enough in literature, especially within YA literature. But speaking of YA literature, I really feel like now, because you're growing up with Nick and Charlie, they're getting to university stages of life, I feel like you are slowly kind of turning this graphic novel series with the topics that Alice Osman discusses into more like an adult. I definitely feel like if you're a younger reader, this graphic novel volume might not be the most suitable for you, just because of the discussions it has around safe sex and having sex for the first time and all that fun stuff. But overall, I loved being back in this universe. I do love these characters, and having now watched the TV show, the first 2 seasons of the TV show, I kind of really felt like Nick and Charlie came to life in these pages, because I could now kind of like hear their voices because of the actors that now play Nick and Charlie. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. My first read of 2024 is a 4-star, which is always good. And I've got the reading bug. I want to start my next book already, and I think I want to start The Fortune Men by Naloufar Hamid. So I'm going to go get that and show it to you quickly. So I think I want to start this book next, which is really exciting because I do feel like I just want to keep reading, because graphic novels finish so quickly that I want to start a full-length novel now, which is really exciting. This one basically follows our main character, Mahood, who has been wrongly accused of a crime that he didn't commit, and I think it's basically just about that and him trying to find justice in a world where he's getting discriminated. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this, and hopefully it's going to be another high-rated book, but I will probably start this right now and then I'll keep you posted.
This is the author, Michelle Zeller. For Omna. 1. Crying in Nature.
It is now the 2nd of January, and where do I start? I obviously started Fortune Men, and I'm now just under 100 pages into it, and I'm not really enjoying it. And I'm in this dilemma of like, I don't want to DNF my 2nd book of the year, but also like, I don't want to force myself through it just because it's my 2nd book of the year. So that's my dilemma I'm currently facing. I also started the audiobook of Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zorner on commute to and from work today, and I'm now roughly on chapter 6. I can't remember exactly, but that is roughly page 67. So I'm enjoying this one, but it's not my like favourite thing ever. It's basically about Michelle, who's lost her mother from cancer, and she's kind of going through the grieving process and going through her kind of like relationship growing up with her mum and her relationship with food, because her mum was very much she showed her love in the food that she fed her loved ones. So yeah, it's kind of like mixing those 2 sorts of things and kind of how she's grieving for her mother. And I'm enjoying it more so than The Fortune Men, but it's not like, oh my god, amazing, like best book ever. So on that note, I thought I'd treat myself to some books. It is the 2nd of Jan. I haven't brought any books so far this year, so why not start now? Start as you mean to go on, you know, all that fun stuff. So I'm going to pop over to Amazon. I already have some books in my basket. I'm going to explain why I'm picking up those books and all that fun stuff. And then hopefully within the same vlog I can unbox them and yeah, be very, very exciting. I'm excited to buy my first few books of 2024. Hopefully they're all going to be absolute winners, and they're a bit different to what you may expect from me. So let's go. Right, let's head to Amazon I'm so excited. I love buying books. Go to my basket just so I can talk through the books I'm planning on buying, and voila! There's really different to what you might have been expecting. So, the first book I'm picking up is Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. Excuse me, what? You might be thinking. So, as I've said in my January TBR as well as my New Year reset video, I am hoping to get into like different genres this year and try different things. And I feel like fantasy might be the area of books and genre of books that I kind of enjoy most after romance and contemporary, seeing as I've already read some fantasy books that I really enjoy, some being up there, so it's a safe kind of bet for me, especially if I kind of stick to the YAs. So Chloe from Chloe's Books is hosting the Trash for Maths read along, where she's reading every single book that Sarah J Maas has ever released every single month, and I think because of the amount of books that the author has released, we will be reading them until like April 2025, which is mental. But I'm not thinking that far ahead. I don't know if I like her writing yet, because I've never read a Sarah J Maas before. I don't know if I'm going to like the Throne of Glass series as a whole. So I'm just going to buy the first book and join along in January for Chloe's first round of Trash for Maths, which is where we're reading Throne of Glass. So if you want to know more about that, I'll link down the announcement video so you can join if you would like to. But yeah, that's why I'm buying that one, to expand my horizons and join in on some fun kind of book discussions with new people and discuss a new book. And yeah, I'm quite excited for that one, and I will be reading that one in January. If I should do a vlog for it, then let me know. I'll be intrigued. Romance girly reads fantasy for the first time sort of vibe. The next one is also fantasy. What's going on with me? I have no idea, but clearly the contemporaries aren't doing it for me at the minute, seeing as I want to DNF the two books I'm currently reading, which are both contemporaries. So I'm picking up These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. I heard this book from Library of Lucy, which I'll link down below. She's just reached 1K. I'm so proud of her. I love her channel so much. I love her vlogs. And she reads kind of like very similar to me, like romance, but also fantasy. And she recently read this, and when she described the blurb, it sounded very much like Kiss of Deception. And I love Kiss of Deception series by Mary Pearson. It is behind me. It's phasing outwards, that's how much I love it. So I'm going to be picking up that one as well to see kind of how I get on with that one. And the last one, we're going back into my comfort zone, and I'm picking up Eleanor Afonte Is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman, because that is my book club book for the month of January. If you didn't know, I've joined a book club for this year, maybe potentially, or just this month. It's a monthly rolling kind of like book club, the Breakfast Book Club on Instagram, so I'll link them down below as well. And our January book is this one, so I'm going to be picking up this one so I can read it. I am very much, as you guys know, a physical reader, so I'd much rather just pick up these books to allow myself to fully enjoy them as much as humanly possible, rather than dampening the experience because I'm reading them as an audiobook or I'm reading them as an ebook. So I'm just going to pick them up physically and see where we get up to. So yes, 2 books for a read along and a book club, and then 1 just because it sounds very similar to a fantasy series that I already know and love. So I'm really excited. I'm going to proceed to check out. I'm so excited. Hopefully they'll come tomorrow, which would be amazing. The 4th of Jan. Oh no, that's 2 days away. I waited too late. To order them. That's annoying. Oh well, that's fine. We'll find. So bye now. Yay! All ordered. I'm so excited to get some new books to kind of re-inspire this TBR trolley, because I do feel like very uninspired by my TBR trolley at the minute, so I'm excited to get some new books and hopefully read a couple in the next month or so. And yeah, hopefully if you want a vlog of me reading Throne of Glass, then let me know in the comments down below, because I think that might be quite interesting, because obviously it's such a well-loved series and it'll be interesting to kind of like document my experience reading it. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. But without further ado, I don't know what the plan is for this evening, but I'll keep you posted. That evening I did decide to DNF The Fortune Men, and I don't feel bad about it. I'm very, very excited about my next read. I'm currently reading it and I'm obsessed. I feel like I might need to annotate this book. Yeah, I'm gonna go get tabs. is now Thursday evening. I just got home from work. It's pissing it down with rain. But the books that I ordered have arrived, so I thought I'd do an unboxing. I'm very, very excited. Hopefully I'm going to read 2 out of the 3 of these in January. First we have Phone of Glass by Sarah J Maas. I never thought I'd be buying that book, that's for sure. We have, what's next? These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. And then finally, Eleanor Fonte is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. Very excited to read all of these, and I very much appreciate the neighbour who brought in my books so they didn't get nice and wet because it is pissing it down with rain outside. So yeah. So I need to update this vlog. It is now a Sunday the 7th of January, so we're a week into the new year, and I am so happy with how my reading has gone this year so far. I know we're only a week in, but if I can keep up this momentum, I am going to excel this year, because I've worked out if I read 8 books every single month this year, I could reach 100 books again, which would be incredible. It's kind of like a little goal I now have of mine, but I'm going to keep it realistic and stick it at 50, but subtly it would be incredible if I could read 100 books in a year again, because that was such a good year reading for me in 2020, so it'd be nice to recreate it. But since I've last updated you, I have finished 2 books. Obviously you saw me kind of read this one, and this was an audiobook that I read to and from work, so you didn't really see me read this one. This one I didn't rate because it was a non-fiction memoir, but overall I did enjoy it, and I did take some things away from it, which is what I'm always kind of hoping for when I read a non-fiction memoir. This book basically follows Michelle Zorner as she has to deal with the grief of her mother's death. Her mother passes away from cancer when Michelle Zorner is only 25 years old, and then she becomes a carer for her mother while she's in the last few months of her life. The way that this book is explored is the fact that Michelle is half Korean, half American. Her dad is American, her mother is Korean, and the way she really identifies as Korean is through her mother's food. And then when she loses kind of that aspect of her life, she really kind of struggles with self-identity and kind of where she belongs in the world. So it really kind of focuses on the caregiving side of looking after her mother as she slowly comes to pass away, as well as kind of like the past that once her mother passes away, where she can kind of rediscover herself again after her mother's loss and kind of like re-find where her identity lies. And I really enjoyed that aspect. There were kind of more elements within this book about her father, a bit of her father's past and kind of her relationship with her father, as well as her kind of like up and rising kind of ambitions to become a musician. I didn't really like those aspects as much, but I did really enjoy the aspects I was going into this book expecting, which was the relationship with her mother, her relationship with herself, and the relationship with the food that her mother kind of gives her across her life to try and really connect her to her Korean roots. So the bits that I went into the book to enjoy, I did really enjoy. The other aspects, I did kind of lose a little bit of interest, and I did kind of find myself zoning out through the audiobook. But obviously I don't rate this book, but I do recommend it if you're interested in reading it. But I'm so glad I had the audiobook, because I don't think I would have been able to get it through it physically. And obviously having DNF'd my second read of the year, I then picked up a book that I kind of knew I would enjoy more, and that book is going to be by Ashley Poston. Ashley Poston is my favourite author of 2023, so I was excited to kind of like try her YA stuff. This is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I ended up giving it a 3.5 stars. I did tab a few little pieces here and there, but not too much. I enjoyed my time reading it. It was fun, it was cute. Was it anything special? No. Will I continue the series? Yes. So this book basically follows, told in dual perspective, Rosie and Vance. Rosie is your kind of like typical sunshine character. Vance is very much your grumpy character, so it's a kind of YA take on the grumpy sunshine trope. And it follows Rosie as she has to work in this library after damaging a really, really important book, having gone chasing a dog into this unknown house. And then there she meets Vance, and kind of like a romance ensues from there. You get a bit of background with these characters, but I would have liked more. I could definitely tell that Ashley Poston's writing style and her adult romances were really coming out in this one, seeing as these books came out prior to her adult romances coming out. You kind of see like the seedlings of Ashley Poston's writing, which was really, really fun to kind of explore. I would have liked more character development to get some more clarity on things, and I feel like sometimes I was like, wait, what? At one point Rosie sprains her ankle, but in like a paragraph later she says she breaks it, so there's a few like inconsistencies. I think that might just be due to Ashley Poston's like beginning in writing, but overall I had a fun time reading it, and like I said, I will be interested in reading the rest of the series. So those are the 2 books I have finished this week, as well as Heartstopper Volume 5, so 3 books finished, and I'm 50 pages into Finale by Stephanie Garber. This is the 3rd and final book in the Caravel series, and I started this one last night after having finished Bookish in the Beat, and I'm 46 pages into it and enjoying it. Obviously I tried reading this a couple of months ago in November after my Magical Hopathon, and I just wasn't able to digest a kind of fantasy world, so I put it to the side, and I'm really, really excited I picked it back up because I'm really, really enjoying it. I'm hoping I can get a lot more read today, so I'm going to take you along on the rest of the day to see how much I can get read in the first week of the year, which is crazy. I'm so impressed with how much I managed to read, probably because it's been a non-fiction memoir that hasn't been very long, via an audiobook, a graphic novel, and well as a YA romance, so not like really complex stories. So I'll be intrigued to see how much I can read of this today, but that's kind of like the reading update. This is the last day of the vlog, so I'll keep you posted on what I get up to. But yes, crazy how much I've managed to read in the first week of the year.